Alright, meteorologist Dean Davis and the Weather Pros, live, weatherblogs.com. We're going to talk about the potential here, possibly some tropical development, and we'll see what goes on from there. Here in the East Coast, in the Atlantic Ocean, Gulf of Mexico. As you see, there's two systems out there currently. One near the area of just south near Cancun in that area. That'll move north and then northeast eventually, and we'll show you that in the model data. Then we have one around 40 west and about 6 or 7 north that looks to go west-northwest. This system also, this has a little better shot to make it to a tropical system. So we're getting into the tropical season now, so I am going to start doing some tropical updates. We'll also be doing the severe weather update during this also, because we're going to combine the two to let you know the latest. So this is a video on tropics and severe weather, so we can see what's going on here. So let's go over to a satellite imagery and some other information. So the main area we're watching is this area right here. We're possibly watching this area behind it. This is Invest 92L, and you can see this thing is trying to get its act together and form around the center of circulation. The one behind it looks possibly as promising. We are seeing very little wind shear currently. So there's thunderstorms, and it's trying to get around the center. So this is tend to be watched over the next few days to see what happens with it. Up here you can see there's some southwest shear, but if that lets up, which it looks like it possibly could, we could get definitely the storm to get in better shape and go from there. But basing on that, it's not too bad of a looking system for an early tropical system to form. Like I said, this is the current 92L. Taking a look at some projective models. Models are very consistent on the thought process that this system will move in a west-northwest fashion. Now, where it gets confusing is, will it go towards the lower islands and then head northwest, and then beyond that, possibly Florida or, depending on the track, into the Caribbean and then hook? Or will we see it go into the mainland of South America, which could be its death? A lot of the models that are utilized are showing it coming further north. So this is something we got to watch, because once it gets over here, the sea surface temperatures are a lot better and the shearing levels will be a lot less. So that is one thing. So when you get past here, get past the islands, there's a couple paths for it. It'll either be hugging the area of South America or it'll be going north, which was the more predominant model data runs throughout 96 hours. So that is what we're looking at right now with the initial model. Let's take a look at the GFS part of it. The GFS and GFS ensembles actually are very much in agreement that it would stay north of South America and actually getting into the Caribbean, and beyond that into the Gulf of Mexico. That's a little far out, but that is what right now the GFS is stating. And so with the other tropical model, that looks a little bit better. And it would also probably give you a strengthening system by the time it gets towards the island. So that's a couple of things we have to look at also. And there's a couple good models here that are showing it go with tropical storm strength by 80 hours out. And there's a few that have hooked and stayed down in tropical depression stage, like the HWF2, but majority of the models are starting to look like it's get into the, by 108 hours, get into tropical storm format. So it's something definitely to watch, and that is one thing we can continue to watch over the next few days. One more thing here with the tropics, and like I said, what's showing the southeast shear right now is this upper level low here. But this looks to move out of the area. So once this gets underneath of this upper level low, the chances are that it would, and same with the system behind it, would have a better chance of getting into the area. We also have this low pressure system here, going to go towards Cuba and Hispaniola. And we have a deep trough right now here over the east, which will also become a ridge by next week when this is coming towards. So, that being said, that is where we have the best potential for this to occur. Because right now there's some good shear ahead of this, and just once this weakens up from this upper level low, things will get a little bit more favorable for development. So now we're going to go into landslide and tropical, into our severe weather area. So our severe weather area will tell us that we have generalized thunderstorms. This probably will turn into possibly a marginal risk later for some severe weather here, anywhere from the Delaware Valley back here to the Roanoke Valley. But the marginal risk over the Midwest, slight risk over and most of areas north of Indianapolis, and then the enhanced risk from Chicago down here. This is mainly going to be from an MCS, a mesoscale convective system that will move across the area. So that's what we have today. You see, wind is the biggest threat. Hail and tornadoes are slightly possible. So now we're going to go into tomorrow, Sunday. You will see that we're under the marginal risk here in Roanoke tomorrow. Slight risk goes anywhere from Syracuse and Buffalo down to Pittsburgh and Cincinnati, Cleveland, down here through Nashville, and back here towards the Architects. You can see that chance is significant, more significant. And then we get into Wednesday. I mean, not Wednesday. Well, back up here. Let's back up here to Monday. Monday looks like it's going to be the worst of the days. Enhanced risk here. Philadelphia, D.C., Baltimore, Allentown, up through the Hudson Valley. So for enhanced risk of severe weather. And then the slight risk goes down through Roanoke, Lynchburg, Richmond, and down into High Point and areas like that in North Carolina. So the enhanced risk and reasoning for it will be mainly, I believe, a wind damage issue. We also may see some tornadoes during this time frame. So there's going to be some interesting situations occurring in the Philadelphia metro, as well as D.C., Baltimore, Alexander, Fredericksburg, up to the Hudson Valley. And we will keep an eye on this and update it as needed. Like I said, enhanced risk already in effect 3 days out. It's a pretty good shot we're going to have that. The slight risk, here's what may happen. The slight risk may go to a enhanced and then in part of the area, and then the enhanced may go to a moderate risk, especially being that far out. So we got to keep an eye on it, and we will as that strong front moves to the east. Other than that, stay tuned. Possible flooding and any thunderstorms that occur today, especially in areas such as Roanoke, which have had a lot of liquid over the last 2 to 3 days. This is meteorologist Dean Davis, and I hope you enjoyed the tropical weather outlook as well as the severe weather outlook, and we'll have an update probably early in the week. Meteorologist Dean Davison, which would be Monday, Sunday into Monday. Meteorologist Dean Davison, the Weather Pros. Thank you for watching. Have a great weekend.